Okay, this is what we're working on today, is these glass doors, and it's two cases bolted together. And what's happening is the left side is running cold and the right side's running like 15 degrees warmer, and we have to figure out why that's happening. And it's either you have an expansion valve in the first door there and the first door over here. It's possible that the expansion valve needs to be adjusted, or it's low on gas. And it's very typical when a system's low on gas, the left side, one side will get the lion's share of the refrigerant and the other side will starve. And I'm going to go up on the roof now and check the refrigerant charge in the system. Alright, this is the unit. Look where they put this vent stack right up against it. You gotta wonder what people are thinking about when they install stuff. But anyways, it's R22 commercial temp, and you can see my suction pressure is 19 pounds and the head pressure is 165, and that suction pressure should be a lot higher. You can see the evaporator on it, it's at minus 6.5, and that should be around 20 or so. And the suction pressure should be like 45, 50, something like that. And sight glass is not very legible. It's got some carbonization on the inside of the glass. That's from, this compressor was changed a number of years ago. There was an old semi-hermetic compressor here. And over the years what happens is the condensers will get plugged up with dirt, dust. Head pressures will run really high. And the pistons are moving in the piston sleeves, and this is R22, so the head pressure is going to be a little higher and hotter. So this piston sleeves got pretty hot. When it happens, the old mineral-based oil that was in here carbonizes, and it coats the whole system. And that's why we can't see anything out of the sight glass. This sight glass is up for a change, but it's soldered in or brazed in, so probably won't be changing that today. But I have to charge it and check it for leaks. Okay, the suction line feels cool, not cool enough. This compressor relies on the refrigerant coming back to keep it cool. Run a little bit warm, but not too hot. But the suction line's not cold enough, you can just feel it. The liquid line should be warm, and it's not. It's cool, actually. It's very obvious that it's low on gas. This is the hot gas discharge line, and that's always hot. Very hot. Okay, let me start putting some gas in it. I hooked up my gas to this. I did purge it. Somebody got on me about not purging one of my hose lines in one of the videos. I don't know what it was. I mean, when you hook up your gauges on a job like now, it'll have a little bit of refrigerant gas in it. And you close off the ball valves at the end of the hoses, you're going to have residual amount of gas in the tubing in the hoses. So when you hook up to another system, air's not going to come in, displace the gas. So you're going to have a refrigerant gas, whether it's the right one or not. But it's such an insignificant amount, it really wouldn't matter. But we're getting a little bit of gas in it. just got a call, but here I just want to point this out. Here's my cell phone. Can't see anything at all in this sunlight on my cell phone. I mean, I can't read anything. How can you? How could I hook up an iConnect to this? Use an iConnect with the cell phone? It's just impossible. I mean, if I get it in the shade, I can see a little bit of something. It's still difficult. But that's a total blank. I don't know. Maybe if it's at a house, the shade in the back of the house, it might work. Alright, I gotta put a little more gas in there. My head pressure is too low. I should be up on around 190, 220, R22. See, my evaporator's in -2 still. In too fast. I'm putting liquid in. Now the Schrader nipple would have been good on this side. This is the suction line coming up from downstairs, going into the receiver suction accumulator. Comes out of suction accumulator as gas and goes into the compressor. It would have been good if this nipple was upstream of this suction accumulator so that you could put liquid in here a little faster and go into the bottom of the suction accumulator, and this takes the gas off the top of it. But I just have to put it, since the nipple's here, I just have to put it in very slow. It's going in, but slow. Okay, we're getting our evap temperature up. But this is very difficult to see anything in the sight glass. It's almost impossible. I can just barely see a little movement in there, and that's what I'm going on. But I'll continue to put gas in it. It'll take a few more minutes. And I have to go downstairs and check the expansion valves for refrigerant leak. It may be a very small leak that takes, that's you're losing the molecules someplace over a period of a couple of years. I haven't put gas in this unit in a couple of years. Or it may be a leak that's recently opened up, and most of the leaks are on a flare nut on the expansion valve, so that's what I'm going to go check. And the owner's removing the beer and soda out of the way right now, so I can get at the expansion valve and check them. I'll do that. Okay, and still have a couple bubbles in the sight glass. Or maybe because the valves need to be adjusted downstairs. One of the valves, expansion valves, may be open too much. I'm going to go check the KD on the cases. My suction line coming back is noticeably cooler than it was before, and I'm not exactly sure. I think it's supposed to be around 47 degrees, something like that. I've always gone by grabbing it and I can tell whether it's good or not. My liquid line is noticeably warmer than it was before. Before it was cool. Now it's, my rule of thumb was liquid line should be a little bit warmer than the ambient air, and it is. That's a good sign. It's not hot and it's not cold. Cold was low on gas. Hot, it's either the condenser's dirty or it's overcharged. But we have a cool suction line, which means that the compressor is being suction cooled like it's supposed to, and it's happy. And this compressor has been here a while. See if we can zoom in on it. See right here. Right there, got the old mineral-based oil on it. The old mineral-based oil. Okay, let's see. I'm having trouble seeing my screen here. My suction pressure is up to 42 pounds. Probably could be a little bit more. My head pressure is 238, which is fine. It's not a super hot day. It's a comfortable day. And my evaporator's at 1920 is good. So that's not bad at all. But it'd probably take a little bit more gas. I want to go down and adjust the expansion valves. I'll try to remember to bring up a thermal probe so I can measure the suction line temperature for you and the liquid line. Give you an idea what that should be. But let me go downstairs now. Okay. Got a 20 degree evaporator, not too bad. 43 degrees suction, 240 head, that's all fine. I checked for leaks downstairs. I checked the TDs, they were good. I didn't find any leaks. So what I'm going to do is down about 8 pounds of gas. So I'm going to do is I'm going to put fluorescent dye in the system. There's an injector, and you just screw this in, connect this to the hose, my yellow hose, and I'm going to put yellow dye in the system. And what will happen is if it's leaking inside the evaporator tubing, it'll show up in a couple of weeks. Dye gets on everything. You can't see it until you put a fluorescent light on and you see your hands are all purple. Valve up, open my cages up. And now what I'm going to do is just push the dye in. You can see it going right now. This works really good. It's new compressors. It's good not to put anything in them, whether it's Subco or fluorescent dye or anything of that nature. They don't, Emerson doesn't like to give warranties out if there's additives in the system. Okay, now the fluorescent dye now is in my hose, and I'm going to put some refrigerant through the hose and put it into the unit. Okay, my evaporator's at 23. Suction is 46. 260 head, 120 condenser. Let's see. Subcooling's at 9. Still have a couple little bubbles in the sight glass. My suction line is 73 degrees. It's like, feels cool to the touch. It feels, I don't know, it feels colder than 73. I got the clamp on the suction line over here. I put the rag around it to keep the torrent of air from the fan off it. There's not much air here. It's all going up on this fan. It's bad design. This fan is throwing the air up and not out this way. Like almost no air at all right here, and air's coming up here. And the fan is on the end of the shaft, and it's out as far as it can go. It'd be nice to get it out a little bit farther if that shaft was longer, but it's not. Might be able to someday move the brackets, the fan bracket that's bolted down, and re-drill and move them out a little bit. But I'm getting a fair amount of air. It's all coming straight up here. Nothing over here. But I put fluorescent dye in the system, and if this leaks out in a short amount of time, I'll find it. I'm going to mark over here fluorescent dye so I remember, because I won't. But my suction's 45, 254 head. My liquid line is 110 degrees. Now let me just do this. 110 degrees, and just for the sake of it, my hot gas discharge line, it's very hot going in. We'll see what that is. I accidentally touched it, and I got my first burn of the year. That's lovely. Those lines are usually so hot they burn your skin. But that's my first burn of the year. I knew one guy, he keeps his sleeves rolled down and buttoned all summer long, the hottest days. He just doesn't want to get those burns on his arms. Got them on my forehead from leaning past things. It's impossible. I'm up to 190 on the discharge line. I'm sure it'll get a bit higher. What I'll do is I'll put my other probe on the liquid line. Probes on the liquid line now. So this is liquid line and this is discharge line. I'm gonna put a little bit more gas in it. Bottle's about empty. $193 on the discharge line. So if the condenser was plugged up, the discharge, the liquid line would be up around 180, 190. And this is R22. Or if the fan was bad, the discharge line, the liquid line would be 195. Okay, my delta T temperature difference is 92 degrees between inlet and outlet of the condenser. That's the difference between the hot gas and the liquid. It's 92 degrees difference. It's about 70 degrees the air temperature today. Okay guys, that's it for this job. A little bright up here. This white plastic roof, PVC roof is what it is. A little bright. Okay, later.